Mm. Mm. Greetings, seekers after enlightenment. Yes, it is the Irish fella, and I decided tonight would be a good night to hang out here by the fire. So, folks, like I said in the description, this is another one in the series of talks I have entitled "Re-Examine Your Life." And tonight, we're going to look at ways that you can change your way of thinking. Or, in other words, giving yourself a mental tune up or even an overhaul. Hmm. Now, while of course we know that most exercise is focused on your physical being, there is very little focus on keeping yourself mentally tuned up. And it's something that you have to do. It's just like with physical characteristics, and especially true with mental ones as you age. You have to use it or lose it. Now, you know, the brain is the most important organ in your body. It uses, it's estimated 25% of your blood supply and total energy. I mean, it not only controls your muscles, but it helps you process information so you can learn and grow. Your memory, the way you think, your attitude. I mean, now remember that just like your body, your brain needs exercise. So let's start out with something easy. Give your brain a new challenge. Now, lately, I've been consumed with getting my novel done. And I took a last peek last night, and I think it's good to go. So, in the next day or two, I will be hand delivering a copy to my editor. And now, one thing you got to remember is people are creatures of habit. Uh, you get used to taking the same route to go to work, or always stopping off at that same burger joint for a couple of sliders before you go home. But when you do the same thing every day, you stop paying attention, and it leaves you vulnerable to someone who may be following you and has bad intentions towards you, or just some believer in modern chemistry on the freeway. So let me see here. There's my light. All right, now I can see. Yeah, I mean, what are you doing? Are you hanging out with the same friends every day? Are you always going to eat at the same restaurant? You know, it may be safe, but it doesn't provide a lot of mental stimulation. So your brain can produce new neural connections in a variety of situations, from intentional learning to unfortunate trauma. And you're capable of learning throughout your life. So I've got other things in mind, like getting the Dare to Wear business going, getting the rest of the novels published, and enjoying the hell out of my second life while doing so. But now there's other things I'm gonna do. Like I'm going to teach myself AI language so I can program Malaya's AI interface. And I can't quite get my head around it, but I'm gonna play with it and actually try to teach myself Sudoku. Because I like playing with numbers at times. It's a kind of little mental exercise that should be stimulating and challenging. Now, remember, you should always be trying to learn something new. Yeah, man, always. If you're giving up and decided there is nothing else left to learn, you're like the fellow that wanted to close the patent office because he said, "Oh, everything worthwhile has been invented." Yeah, that's a bad attitude to have because you never know when something fresh will come along and change the way you think about things. Now, as I said before, your brain uses a lot of energy. So it's important to feed your brain properly. So one of the best things for brain health is omega-3 fatty acids. And they're mostly in fatty fish and grass-fed animals. And what omega-3 does, it sort of acts like a enzyme or a catalyst and allows everything to work smoothly. Now, don't eat too much cholesterol. You may have a high metabolism, or you could be in a situation like me where you're forced to eat more fat than you used to just to survive. But eating too much will bring on neurodegenerative issues like Alzheimer's. Yeah, and that's not a good thing. You remember, too much of anything is not necessarily a good thing, especially fat and processed sugar. Now, as I've said elsewhere, if you need to put fat into your diet, uh, get things like real butter and extra virgin olive oil. So you're getting quality fats, but without the junk that you would get in things like margarine or those weird blends that claim that they've got all these healthy fats that are good for you. No, it's all chemicals, man. Stick with something natural. Your body and your mind will appreciate you for it. So remember, if you're not eating with an eye towards your health, you're going to be subject to a bunch of diseases like obesity, diabetes, gout, hypertension. Yeah, and they've all been linked to losses in your ability to think clearly. So remember, if it's not good for your body, it's not good for your brain either. Now, this next one is one that I have a tough time with. Sleep. Now, your body usually operates on roughly let's see, it's gone anyway from an hour and a half to a 4.5 hour cycle where you will drift up and down in levels of sleep. But the most effective is REM sleep because that's when your brain is processing information and forming long-term memory. You know, sleep deprivation, it doesn't just leave you tired, it leaves you vulnerable because you're not operating on all 8 cylinders. And if you're doing some kind of hazardous task, you could be in trouble, man. I mean, it's even, yeah, if you're sleep deprived, you have a hard time even performing simple tasks. Though now everyone is different. Now, I've gone through cycles where I've been physically exhausted and slept for 24 hours, and other times when I've rolled over, gone to sleep, woke up, feel great. What? 10 minutes? Yeah, you just never know. But now don't discount the advantages of taking a nap either. I've done that. I remember on one job, I was working on top of the locomotive cab, and I was up on the roof, and I usually was tied off to the crane. But someone needed to use the crane, so I unhooked myself and just laid down. I might have taken a 10-minute nap. It felt like I had slept for an hour. I felt so refreshed. So it depends on how much time you have Now, if you can manage to take a nap for a couple hours, you just might tap into a little bit of REM sleep. Ugh. Alrighty, now hang on a second here. Let's see. Got to tend the fire here for just a hot minute. Alrighty now. Ah. Now, next, let's consider your memory. When it comes to memory, the use it or use it rule definitely applies. And one of my issues that I've had for many years is that I was such a voracious reader and had so much information in my head that a lot of times I would be hesitant to share because I want to make sure I'm saying the right thing. And sometimes that has kind of backfired where I look like I don't really have it together just because I'm trying to sift through all this information and make sure I give a correct answer. Ah. Yeah, now I admit, now that I'm retired, there are a lot of times where, hell, I couldn't tell you what I did last week. I didn't do much of anything. But I did work on the novel. But like I said, the billable hours concept, that helped keep me on track. But as far as regular events, it's like something not quite worth remembering. But now you can turn that impulse on its head. Do you have an old photo album at home? Or do you have an extensive collection of family pictures on Facebook? Look up some of those old pictures and see if you can remember when it was, what made the event special, who's there in the picture with you. Now, of course, I got an issue with that because I was the one who ended up being a photographer. So there's lots of pictures of family and friends around, and I'm hardly in any of them because nobody could work a camera for shit. and they mostly still can't. Kind of frustrating when you hand somebody your phone, take a picture, and it's like the last 5 or 6 times I've done that, it's come out blurry. So I'd rather just do it myself. Now, when you have access to a large pool of information, though, sometimes the conversations can get fascinating. My friend Brian, who I'll try to talk him into hanging out to do a broadcast with me one day. He's a great guy, and we've had high level conversations on all sorts of different subjects. It's nice to be around somebody who can understand your obscure references and sometimes comes back with his own that are just as obscure. Because remember, yesterday you were a conspiracy theorist. Today you're just ahead of the curve. So yeah, and sometimes if you work at it, you can recall insignificant details of what could be considered insignificant for someone else. It's like you remember your first day of high school. Yeah. Hmm. And sometimes you may have some difficulties uh, figuring that out. So uh, do a journal, or do like I did with my YouTube channel. There, have a place where I could be honest with myself and examine these deep issues. See, well, that's why I don't have to worry so much because I was so honest. Now I can go back to those old videos and I can see distilled wisdom. And whenever I'm faltering or stumbling, I can go back to those and get a recharge. Because it may not look like it, but I really do put a lot of effort into my videos because I'm obligated to give y'all quality information. I have to. Otherwise, why am I bothering? Let's see, what else have we got here? So, another important thing that you have to do is relax. Yeah, sometimes you gotta take that hot minute to take a break so you can recharge. And now that doesn't mean drinking yourself into a drunken stupor. No rum here tonight, brother. Sorry if you're disappointed. You know, a lot of times you don't notice, but your brain's always thinking about something, especially your subconscious. And you have to be careful because your subconscious can latch on to a thought, and whether it's good or bad, the subconscious don't care. It's just gonna run with it. And you may not even be aware of it, but that could be a source of later internal trauma. So it's important to like disengage. And really, it's not an easy technique to learn, but you can disengage your brain and just sit in the peace and quiet and enjoy the solitude and a nice fire. So see, I can enjoy this, and there's no hazard. I'm right here to take care of business, so no problem. And there is a technique that was expounded on by the late great Richard Hittleman. It's called fire meditation. In fact, if I may, I'll share that technique with you right now. Now, usually you would do this with a candle, so it's easier for you to focus on. So you have your source of flame, and you can look and you can see that it's almost a living thing the way it moves around. Look at the shape of the flames, look at the color, uh, look at the how the smoke rises. But then, when you feel comfortable, use your imagination and merge your consciousness with the flame. Yes, in effect, become the flame. You're not being burned. You are the source of heat. Yeah, it's a now. It's not easy. It does take practice, but you can do it. Um, Now I have done the same thing with flowers. Just imagine, kind of like as I wrote in the last story of the trilogy. Let's do this again. Oh, to be a rose, being in the sunlight, tasting fertile, rich soil, not not even thinking about it, anything, just being there in the moment. Yeah, it's not easy, but you can empty your mind and get your brain to relax. And it doesn't matter what else you do to enhance that experience. You can meditate, you could pray, do yoga, read scriptures, whatever is going to get your mind away from the mundane, and on something with more value to help you focus. Now, one thing that a lot of these kids are lacking of is concentration. You figure, well, let's see, this data point comes from the mid 60s. You figure the average kindergartner may have an attention span of 30 seconds. Well, by the time you're in college, the average is up to 30 minutes, you hope. So practice while you're relaxing. And one deal that I saw that I am going to set up and try in the future is a memorization game. You just set out a group of objects, you look at them for 1 minute, and then you have to write down the name of every object without looking at them again. Hmm. And also, problem solving is something that relaxation helps you with too. Or you focus your mind on some issue that you're having, then let it drop for a while and disengage your brain. Now, I've done this frequently when I've thought about some issue I was having just before bedtime. And in the morning, I would have at least a step or two in a potential action plan. But sometimes the way my brain works, it's kind of tricky because I've had to force myself to disengage because I had so much information in my head. So what I usually do is I do a lot of data gathering, some analysis, and then when I've reached a stopping point where I've got to apply some brain power to continue this in that along that same vector, I just drop it for a while. And then what will happen is the solution will just present itself to my mind. Now, sometimes the solution has been so profound and, oh, I'm trying to think of the right word here. Heavy. Yeah, sometimes the information is so heavy, I'm doing a double take myself. And I've got to think back and try to reconstruct the logic trail that got me from there to here. Hmm. So now remember, these techniques that I've been giving you an overview of, they're not easy to do. It takes practice and persistence, but it can be done. And and remember, you got to deal with distractions too. One easy way is there's something on your mind, write it down, so you can get it out of your head, and then come back to it later. And the last one, and this one, geez, I need to be giving myself the pimp hand because I need to remind myself of this a little more. Alcohol in large quantities are not good for you. Yeah, man. I mean, uh, if you are a hardcore drinker, it actually shrinks the frontal lobes in the brain, which directly affects your cognitive ability. So, so believe me, I'm not hitting it near as hard as I have. In fact, I got a full bottle of Suntory whiskey sitting right in the kitchen. Bought it last week. Still haven't cracked it open. Now I'm saving that for my visit to the editor. So I'm glad I found these notes. I mean, these were these have been floating around for a few years, and I lost track of them. And as I've been digging through my papers, I found these again, and figured it would be a worthwhile subject to share with you. Now, oh, and a little reminder: remember, the quality of your thinking determines the quality of your life. So if you're hanging around low class people, I mean, what was that phrase? Small minds discuss people, average minds discuss events, great minds discuss ideas. There you go. Alrighty now. Let me see here. Now, hopefully I won't mess this up. Okay. Got that so I can see. And, okay, hang on, y'all. All right, I will be right back. Oh, where the hell did I go? Oh, there we go. Alrighty now. So, I am just gonna kick it here by the fire for a hot minute. If any of y'all want to jump on in, you are welcome to do so. So let me give some shout outs here. Greetings, Pastor $40. Real names not given. Oh, perfect timing podcast. Greetings, brother. Howdy, Kevin. Oh, I'm doing good. Greetings, One Fast Act. And I haven't seen you in a hot minute, sweet Padre. Good to see you're still around. Oh, let's see. Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah, it is a little chilly out here, but it's worth it to enjoy the peace and relative quiet. And in this fast paced world, it's something people don't do enough of. Everybody seems like they're always in a hurry. But every once in a while, man, like they said back in the day, you got to stop and smell the roses. Uh, and smoke a bowl. Oh, man. And I got to admit, I am happy as hell because here I am right at the end of my life. And it's actually a fulfillment of a vision I saw over 40 years ago. I didn't understand it then, but I do now. And I'm enjoying the hell out of it. And it's like Ben Franklin said, man, you got to have everything in moderation, including occasionally moderation itself. That indeed, man. So I figure um, I managed to retrieve my clothes, and I, excuse me, I have to finish building a big rack so I can hang them up. But I got to put it in the garage because there's no room in the house. But after the clothes are out of the way, then I'll have more room to build my work area, so I can do more paperwork in my room. But see, you can't get everything done at once, and sometimes you got to take baby steps. Especially me now with my fragile condition, I got to be careful that I don't overdo it. So I'm making sure now that the weather's warmer, I'm getting outside and I'm doing a little work every day. And it doesn't have to be a lot. It's just, the baby steps do add up, man. As long as you're facing the right direction and moving forward, don't matter what your speed is, man. Yeah, you've got a good course. Don't worry about what may be a lack of progress. So, hell, I'm not moving as fast as I used to, but at least I can still move, period. So I ain't complaining. Besides, complaining isn't going to do you any good. Because eventually you reach that point where the talking part's done. So I'm not moving as fast as I want to, but I am moving forward. And that's the important thing, man. You keep your eyes on the prize and keep moving forward, you will succeed. And I'm just trying to show y'all by my humble example how I'm making an attempt to change for the better and showing y'all that you can do it too. I mean, that's what a teacher's supposed to do. So I enjoy hanging out with y'all like this, man. Good, nice chill evening. The weather is just slightly brisk, enough so the fire is enjoyable. So while you're sitting here chilling, what's on your mind? What do you want to have happen in your future? Well, now, it helps if you write it down. Remember, your memory's not as good as you think it is. You don't want an important idea to get lost just because you were too lazy to go get a paper and pencil. Or your phone's right there. Dictate yourself a little note. I have done that before and it works very well. Which reminds me, I need to find my notes on my writer's guide because I wanted to publish that around the same time as the novel. So I will have to look through my reserve drive and see if I can find the darn thing. That's another one of my issues. I got too much crap and not enough space. But I am slowly whittling everything down and making it so I have the bare essentials. I just bought a 4 terabyte backup drive My little 2 terabyte one is starting to act up, and it's only like a year old. So I figure I should get another drive and transfer my files over before I lose everything. And I have lost a lot of writing on more than one occasion. I had one laptop. I was watching a movie and I was washing dishes, had it by the sink, barely dipped the corner of it into the water. But eventually the display just died on me altogether. Fortunately, my friend was able to pull my files off, or I wouldn't have had any backup. But now I try to keep copies everywhere. I bought a laser printer, so now I'll have hard copies of my stuff. And I will also have reserved copies on both hard drives uh, and the SD card on my phone. Oh man. Now, see, isn't this chill, fellas? Yeah, yeah, man. We're just hanging out, kicking it. Now, I'm the kind of fella, but I work hard and I play hard too, or I used to before I got fragile. But I still got some life in me yet. So I'm gonna keep moving forward. That statement by Martin Luther King: "If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But no matter what, keep moving forward." Yeah, I mean, nobody knows what tomorrow's gonna bring, but there's no excuse for you to walk into it blind. If you're prepared, you can handle anything. And no, your response may not be perfect, but you won't panic. Panic kills. And it's one of the fortunate things that I've been blessed with is that I don't panic. Sure, my response may not be perfect, but when there's a crisis, I'm as cool as the other side of the plate. Greetings, brother. Now, after the crisis is over, shit, I'm useless for a good hour or two afterwards. And that's it saved my ass on more than one occasion. Being able to keep a level head in a crisis situation. Believe me, when you're sliding off the interstate in winter doing 70 miles an hour, panic is the last thing you want to have happen. And yes, I actually did that. One winter while I was living in Wyoming, I was driving every weekend 300 miles home and then 300 miles back to go to work the next week. And I did that 4 times. Of course, I was lucky. I had a good vehicle. It was a 78 Mercury Marquis Brougham. Oh, it was a bad motherfucker, too. It was a coupe, and I called it Black Beauty. I mean, this thing is like 6,000 pounds, and it sat 6 inches above the ground. So although, yeah, literally sliding off the interstate, going backwards at 70, never rolled it. I didn't know I was practicing for when I was going to roll one for real. But who knows, if I had rolled one back then, maybe I wouldn't be around now. But I'm not worried. Yeshua has a plan, and he's whispering in my ear. So I know everything's going to be all right. And remember that's part of my rule of three philosophy of life. One, have faith. And you notice I'm not endorsing any particular religious organization. That's because I'm kind of outside of all that now. My relationship with Yeshua is personal. It's not filtered by bureaucracy or structure or somebody telling you, oh, you're not doing this, that, and the third, so you can't really be as spiritual as you claim. Ah, well, it's my spiritual journey, not yours. And let's see, number 2 was have a plan. Yeah, I mean, my plans are constantly changing when I come across new information or old items that I've bought and misplaced. It's just like today. I am reusing metal from the RV to make my clothes rack, but I can't find the hardware I want to bolt it together. And I finally did find it, and it, it was full of ice water. So I'll have to dig that out tomorrow and finish that. Move the clothes, and then I can relax in my room again. Yeah, in fact, Malaya's been out of bed for at least a couple weeks. So she's out of the way and not getting hurt. But remember, man, you you have a purpose for your life. If you are if you're centered, balanced, and focused, you know what your purpose is already. And if not, changing your thought patterns may be just the thing you need to do so you can find your purpose. So what? Alrighty, now we're just about out of here. So let me whoops, there we go. So let me remind y'all of what we talked about. So I said first, give yourself some challenges. Like one of the things I'm going to do after I get a little more stable is teach myself some musical instruments. I have a partial electronic keyboard, a guitar on loan, and I'm going to buy a Japanese flute. And I'm also going to be studying languages. I'm thinking Spanish, Japanese, and one other, maybe Latin or Greek. So now remember the high points. Give your brain a challenge to force yourself to make new neural connections. Eat quality food so your brain has adequate nutrients. Make sure to watch your sleep schedule and practice using your memory to remember things last week, last month, last year. Take time to relax and take time to concentrate as an act of meditation. And remember, but uh, don't be hitting the juice too much. So, sorry, folks, I don't know what that noise is. Oh, there it is. Helicopter, I think. Yes, it is a helicopter, but it's not on the typical St. Luke's flight path, so, or rather St. Al's flight path, so I don't know who that is. So, folks, I hope that this brief overview on changing the way you think has indeed given you something to think about, no pun intended. Was it Rene Descartes who said, I think, therefore I am? Yeah. And Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. If you believe it, you can achieve it. That's what I'm talking about, baby. And remember, when you're doing this, sometimes you can be your own worst enemy. So don't get all upset if you feel the urge to start on this new path and you're not getting the results you feel you deserve immediately. Yeah, you'll get it because I got faith in you. Otherwise, otherwise you wouldn't be here, man. I mean, I don't always succeed, but I try my best to give y'all quality instruction because that's what you deserve. So, y'all, I've managed to nickel and dime my way through an hour, which is good. So, y'all, I'm just gonna kick back a little while longer and chill, and I will catch y'all on the other side. And remember, I still say, when one teaches, two learn.